Welcome to the Esteemed FaceTime with Industry Stalwarts, an initiative by World Development Corporation. I am Rani Rohra, anchor at World Development Corporation. FaceTime with Industry Stalwarts is a platform for industry titans to share their experiences, thoughts, ideas, and best practices in order to inspire one another and future leaders. In a nutshell, we attempt to encapsulate the multi-decadal learnings acquired by these industry leaders. We also hope by conducting these FaceTime with industry stalwarts interviews, we can bring together a global community of eminent personalities. By bringing together such visionaries on one platform, we hope to play a part in inspiring the lives of other leaders. Great learnings from great leaders undoubtedly assist everyone by identifying, nurturing, and using the trade secrets that are proven success formulae for many. And this is what we trust these sessions are, a gathering of industry stalwarts and a knowledge sharing community. We have one such industry stalwart on FaceTime with industry stalwarts with us today, Sachin Gupte. Having graduated with a BE degree in 1919, he joined Poona Shims Private Limited, where he has been working ever since for 32 years and is currently at the post of Chairman and Managing Director. He has been responsible for several job roles and responsibilities, which he has handled optimally and has been instrumental in various site to organizational level transformation in the firm. So, Mr. Sachin Gupte, a very warm welcome again. As you have been working, welcome. As you have been working dedicatedly for the past 32 years with Poona Shims Private Limited, which of your roles, projects, or assignments has brought the most drastic change in your organization?
Look, I joined my father's, it was a very small company when I joined. It was a small scale company. And we had sort of a shop kind of a thing. But my father was a technical genius. So we had really good products. And when I joined, because as I said, it was our own family company, I had opportunity and authority to change everything. So I was enthusiastic. I was just 22 years old. So I went into everything which I could think of. Like I changed the process flow. I changed the, like there was a phase when I joined my father, the ISO was a new name that time. Like it was a new sort of a theme, ISO 9000. QS 9000 and all these names came much later. So we were told by a few customers that, look, this is the quality system standards which are coming up. I said, whatever is coming up, we go into it. So as I said, we change the processes, we change the basically the systems which we were working with, and we wanted growth. So with the growth, you have to sort of upgrade and make the setup professional. And that is what I went into in the initial phases. But the satisfaction, what you are asking about, was there when we started actually making our own capital equipment, which was being imported. Like we had an inert atmosphere, continuous conveyor belt copper brazing furnace, which was imported by my father from Germany. And what I did along with a team of employees who were there, I said, why you mentioned about myself being electrical engineer. Basically, I was in the government college in Pune. So I said, why not myself use my own engineering knowledge? And what I suggested my father is, why should we import? Let us make the furnace ourselves. Already we have one imported. So we go through the designs, we go through everything. And yes, 90s were different days. The value of rupee was different. But still, what we could save is nearly 40%. Like as we made it inside in India, there was no import duty. Second thing is, because we had our own design, we could improvise also. And third thing is, we saved a lot of foreign exchange. So what gave me the most satisfaction during that phase was absolute independence of making our own capital equipment, which made even the profitability of the company go up because we were spending less and we had our absolute control over our own processes. And I can proudly tell you that that was one of the reasons for today's success. Like today our company is absolutely no debt. When I joined my father, it was a little bit of a loss-making company. Yes, we came out after 4 or 5 years, but as on today, we don't even have cash credit limit. We work on, and in fact, we have reserve. So it was not in a day. It has happened during the last 30 years, but it gives me immense satisfaction that we could achieve a lot and we did it. Uh, I'm proud that we all Indians did it. We never asked for any collaboration and we don't have any. So it's something which definitely has given me satisfaction.
Great, great knowing this. I mean, this is something, where I come, at least as an anchor, I've come across very few, companies and few organizations and few people like you who actually, have done from basic, like, from the start, from scratch, you all have done everything. And it's really proud to be associated with you. It's a pride.
I worked in shifts also. Like, it was a small company. So sometimes if the supervisor is on leave, I used to say, okay, I was not married also. So I said, it's okay, I'll wait there. And many times I used to reach the manufacturing unit at 7 in the morning and work till 11:30 in the night. That is the end of the second shift. As I said, I was enthusiastic and I had the full freedom because it was our own company. And another thing what gave me the satisfaction is, like, yes, it was my father's policy also. We, right from the beginning, we have been paying our employees well. So there are more than 200 workers and more than 50 staff members, managers who started their career with us, and their entire career they were with us, and still right now there are a few who are with us, taking more and more responsibilities. Like their own aspirations also, we could match them by giving them, as I said, appropriate salaries. Another thing is, everything doesn't come into salaries. I remember, because I was a smart student. I got admission to the engineering college because of my own marks. I had scholarships also. So immediately when I joined my father, what I did was, the first year itself, that was mainly for the workers. I said, who, sir, as a child who scores more than 60 marks, 60% marks, I am going to give that time the company was very small. I'm going to give a prize to that child from my own pocket. And whosoever is in the ranks, in those days ranks used to be there. I said top 5, whosoever comes in top 5, he gets bigger prize. Higher the rank, higher the prize. That is, I started long back, as I told you, roughly around June 1991. The practice is still continued. We keep on doing that on our family day. And I can proudly tell you, there are 3 doctors who are children of our own employees. Then there are quite a lot of engineers. Then there are 2 architects. What happened is, quite a few employees told me that because of the competition, what you started with those prizes, there was a competition between the employees, that my son is doing this, my daughter is doing this. And then gradually, that was my purpose, that they should have they should feel happy and they should encourage their children to study. And that is what has happened. So it's not only that they are earning well in my company, their future is also quite stable now. So that also gives a lot of satisfaction. Everything is not in monetary benefits. We work as a family, basically. That is what is important.
Very nice. So going on to my second question, sir. What is it that you have enjoyed the most working in Poona Shims? And what learnings do you take from there?
Actually, initial phases, I was told by quite a lot of friends, as well as my father's friends also, that Sachin, you are doing something different. This is going to, maybe it will boomerang. Be careful. Because what I did was, when I joined my father, there was a trade union in the company. I said, I'm working day in and day out. I'm there with you. In fact, in the first phase, before getting married, I never used to take a holiday for 2 months also. At a stage, I used to work, because we have a furnace division. So that division works on even holidays also. It's a continuous process. So at a stretch, 2 months, I used to work. So I said, I'm there with you, workers also, and I'm there to sort out your problem. And basically, as I told you, my purpose is that everybody should be happy. I'm not saying that we have a very big company, but whatever is possible within our means, I said we are trying to do that. Now, when we are trying to do this, why you need a trade union and external sort of leaders to talk to me when I am talking straight to you? And it
Correct.
took time. It took roughly around 1.5 years to 2 years. But gradually the workers realized that, look, if they take a trade union, every month they have to give some money to them. Second thing, as it is, I know the problem better than these external factors.
Yes.
Recent example I'll give to you. We started a sort of 3-shift bus for employees after lockdown, for employees to come to the plant and return back, because many used to come by locals, the trains, and trains was not there immediately after the
Yes.
lockdown. Now that was never there in the agreement, but we have never caught ourselves with that kind of a legal binding. I said, look, this is a practical need which workers have. So we start. Yes, there was an expenditure for the company. I said, yes, it is going to be there, but we want to work. So as I said, we don't catch both sides. We don't catch ourselves in the agreement which is there. We try to do it so that it is convenient for all. And what gave me the satisfaction is, as I said, initially it took 1.5 years, but last 30 years, there is no trade union. What I did is, we have 7 departments in our company, like R&D, then production, then basically quality. So there are different 7 departments. I said, you select in a democratic way the sort of leader from your own department to represent you. And we have a team of, say, 11 workers who interact with the administrative and HR department employees roughly around every week or so. And once in a month, they interact with me on any issues. What are issues are there? So I said, when we have this, can we work? And we tried that. And as I said, proudly I can tell you, during the last 30 years, we have been successful. Not a single sort of strike or tool down or anything like that. Yes, there are some issues which are valid points from their side also. You have to acknowledge them. And you have to have a human kind of side of it. You have to understand their requirements. And then it works. It has been working for last so many years now. One of the ideas which we started is a family day. Now what we do is, on that day, full day, it is for the families to enjoy together. We give the sort of prizes to those who have scored well during the school. Then we have the best employee prizes also, best worker prizes. And then we have nice lunch, and then normally we go to a place where there are a lot of recreational activities. Now that is something, as I said, everything doesn't fit into the monetary part of it. But everybody is happy. In fact, on a family day, even if we ask when the grandchildren have scored well, we ask the parents of our employees also to join us so that they can also enjoy. And as I said, we work as a family. Yes, and yes, I don't want to claim that I have not earned money. We made our own money, but I said we make it happily and try to make as many people as happy as possible.
Great.
So
very modest of you. It's very modest of you. It is very modest of you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Nice knowing this, sir. Going to my third question, can you suggest something to people of the younger generation that you have learned the long or hard way?
Basically, initial phase, I was extremely enthusiastic. As I told you earlier, there was a phase when I had given a commitment. So I worked for, at a stretch, 72 hours without a break. I never came home. I was in the company. I had given a sort of project commitment. And that time my father shouted at me. He said, yes, we need to work, but this is not the way to do it. So sometimes what happens with younger generation is, they are more than over enthusiastic. So there you need to be a little bit practical about it. Another factor, what has happened is, and that is what at least I never did. Today, everybody has become excessively money-minded. But in our case, in my case, what I did was, I focused on work and whatever was need of my customers. Like when I joined my father, because it was a small company, we never had very good employees and professional employees. So most of the customers, when they realized that I have joined, they started calling me about whatever emergencies are there, urgencies are there. Now, what I did was, it was not like, is this going to be converted into sale? But what we used to do is, whatever is needed by the customer, focus on that, try to make them satisfied. And you work hard, you work sincerely, and you get returns. I never looked at the monetary benefits in the first phase. In fact, I never looked at my salary also, because we had a joint family, so I was staying with my parents. So my salary was something which was never needed for me. So I never looked at what I was getting during the first phase of it. And my father and my mother used to look into that. And my focus was on manufacturing, work hard, as I said, many times 10 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours, because the body is fit. Today, if you ask me, I won't be able to do it 16 hours a day.
Correct.
But that time it was possible. Stretch yourself, focus on the work, focus on the results. Don't focus on what immediately you're getting. What you are getting during the first phase is a lot of experience. And I made mistakes. I learned out of them also. I remember once I was in the field, and we had we have a sharing operation where we cut the material. I never thought about, I thought my judgment is perfect, and we had shared a wrong thickness material, and absolutely around 200 kg material went into scrap. But you have to, that time, in fact, workers were telling me, sir, there is something wrong. I said, no, everything is right. Let us do it quickly. But as I said, you learn out of these things.
Yes.
Accept that you have less experience. And yes, during the first phase, don't monetary benefits. Like, if you look at the salary, you should look at the experience what is needed. That initial experience teaches you a lot, and then it takes you further ahead.
Thanks. I agree totally, because of course, as you said, trial and error method is what our generation has actually gone through, and I feel that is the best method to get to the perfection. I hope you agree with me with this, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing, what happens is, unless you're ready to experiment, you don't learn. Like, in fact,
Correct.
I will say, if you go into a very big company, many times you have sort of only the focused direction towards a certain department. If you go to a medium or small company, you learn more during the first
Correct.
phase.
Correct.
So instead of running after a multinational company, if you are getting an opportunity in a good company where they teach you a lot and they give a sort of a comprehensive training, I would rather suggest young generation to focus on such kind of a company than go into a company where there are watertight departments and they will focus on only particular areas. Then it becomes difficult later on to go into the general management position, because you know only about one angle of it. So instead of going into big companies right from the beginning, it is better to focus on the experience which you are getting during the first phase of your career.
Correct, sir. Right. So my next question, sir, with the hubbub of AI, the imminent technology which we are talking about, like the AI, ML, IoT, blockchain, and so on, what are your visions on the future of the Indian corporate ecosystem?
Look, there is nothing constant. Change has to be part of life. And unless you are tech savvy, look, this is private sector. This is not something where you are in a government job where you get stuck to it and then you are there for. Yes, I did it because it was our own company. But unless you improve and unless you are up to date, nobody is going to sort of give you good salaries or good return. You have to upgrade your skills. You have to upgrade your knowledge. You have to acquire experience and then use that. Now, when it comes to latest technology, unless you are ready to use the latest technology, it's not possible to be there in the leadership role for a longer period of time. Things change dramatically. Like today, now we are into the phase where now this Our interaction is also online. Now, if you ask somebody 30 years back, he said, what kind of an interaction is this? We have to go somewhere and then only we interact. Otherwise, there is no sense. But today, and COVID did that. COVID has made people practical. Now, when it comes to Internet of Things, when it comes to even Industry 4.0 standards, today in our own company, as I told you earlier, there we have electrically heated furnaces. There, by sitting in the office, I can see the temperatures which are there on the panel in the furnace department. Now, what happens is my experience is there. There will be a supervisor there. With my experience, if it is on net, if I can see the panel on my computer, on my laptop, then I can suggest it. Look, I think there is something where you need to make the changes. Now, if we don't go into that, how are we going to get upgraded and how are we going to use the experience of people who are there with us? I just gave you one example. Another example is human errors can be avoided by using automation, semi-automation. And that way, basically, you can have lesser rejects. Like rejection is a big issue for manufacturing industry. Now, when you go for automation, because it is most of the time it is sort of systematically being done and with a lot of sensors and everything, what happens is the error is eliminated. Now that is where definitely, unless you upgrade yourself, you cannot go forward. Like the process which was there when I joined my father, and today the process which is there, same product, there is absolute difference. Earlier, it was not as automated as it is today, but the volume which we make today, it's not possible to make by using the earlier processes. So we have to change, and everybody has to adapt. The one who says, no, I'm not going to change, it has been working with, like somebody at my age, look, I have been working for last 30 years and I don't want to change. I have made this successfully for last 30 years. Then you don't have to make yourself redundant. The industry and the market makes you redundant. There is nothing constant. You have to change according to the changing time. Only on the other side, I'll tell you, which is what I've seen outside India. I've been to virtually all parts of the world. Europe, I have lost count the number of times I was there. But one of the reasons why they became non-competent or they have become uncompetitive, because I was in fact offered a company in France, is invested unnecessarily in certain areas in a heavy manner where really the need of that particular technology was not there. Like highly automated equipments are very expensive. And if you go into it just sort of like as a fascination of it, without looking at what is called as a return on investment. Sometimes, and that is where, as I told you, the company was offered to me. Sometimes you'll end up in a situation that you wipe out your liquidity because you are obsessed with latest technology products which are expensive and which sometimes are not necessary. And then you lose your liquidity, you lose your financial strength, and then the company lands up in trouble where it is offered to somebody on sale because you have not utilized your funds properly. As I said, yes, you should go for automation, semi-automation, you should go for latest technology, but have a view at is it good return on investment? If it is not good in the return on investment, to wait, yes, you should go for latest technology, but wait, sometimes actually what happens, I'll tell you, the technology
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Basically, what happens is sometimes a few organizations, which I have seen in Europe, are obsessed with technology. Now, latest technology always is expensive, and you have to have your eye on your fund availability. And if you unnecessarily go into technologies which are really not necessary, or where you can wait for some time, definitely you can save money. Or if you don't do that, and if you go in a hurry, then you lose your liquidity, you frankly use your financial cushion, and then land up in a situation where, as I said, I was offered one French company for outright purchase. Now there I'll suggest you, sometimes the technology can be available and it is made available at a cheaper rate if you wait for some time. One example is, as I said, my father was also tech savvy. I remember we are from Poona, so we were the first few to get mobiles in the city of Poona. They were all big mobiles. They were like they were size wise. If you look at it,
Walkie-talkies.
roughly around 10 in 10, yeah, walkie-talkies, 10-inch height, and it was a big thing. Like you cannot put anything else. The mobile used to take care of your entire pocket.
Yes.
And the rate was huge. Like it was
Correct.
16 rupees per minute and all that. Yes, we were, as I said, tech savvy. So we bought, both of us had it. And then gradually, if you look at it, over the period, the rate per minute went down. The mobiles became sleek. Now, ours was a different case. But if somebody had not bought the initial mobiles, he would not have lost anything, because there were so few mobiles. We were not talking to many people. Myself,
Correct.
in fact, I used to call my father, and sometimes my father used to call me to see where I am, if the range is there or not. So, had we waited for let us say 6 months, we would have saved. I'm just giving you an example.
Correct.
Now, if you look at it, we have, in fact, because our company has grown, the mobile operators have a tower in our own company. So it's like this. As I said, go ahead with latest technology. Nobody can survive if they don't update and if they don't sort of adapt to the new technology. But it is better, look at the return on investment. Don't only look at and don't get obsessed. The important issue is not to get obsessed with the technology. You have to look at what is really the returns for me or my company. And if you once you realize that this is really good, go ahead with it. And yes, upgradation has to be there. Nobody can survive without it.
Correct. Right, sir. Great. So since you are a corporate governance expert now, how do you envision changing the corporate world for good?
I don't consider myself expert. I feel I'm in a midway phase. I have been a director right from the beginning, because, as I said, it was our own company, private limited company. In number and all that has come much later. I was a director even before that. But I was focused on our product. I was focused on the job which I was doing in my own company. What has happened is I have, yes, bigger experience. And another thing, what has happened is that the overall industrial scenario in India has changed. We have become, overall Indian companies have become global, and we need to be professional now. And what has happened is, now as Indian companies are trying to seek money from the world sort of financial community, you have to have a lot of changes the way you work. In India, we used to call it Jugaad management. And initial phase was there. When I joined my father in 1990s, all in businesses used to know everybody. Everybody in the business community, because it was a small community. And like many times the directorship was like, one of my father's friend was a director in our company. My father was a director in somebody else's company. Somebody like all these big corporates also had the similar sort of arrangement. And it used to be honor, not professionalism. I am talking about days in 1970s, 80s, in all those days. Today, one thing, the figures have changed. The businesses have grown much bigger. Professionalism has to be there. You cannot, when you are talking about getting money from the world market, you have to show them the performance. And if you want the performance to be there, you have to have professionals. You cannot have this, as I said earlier, jugaad type of a thing. And now there are analysts who are there. You can analyze your own company, tell you what is missing and what is the way out. There is a hell of a lot of competition. When I joined my father, it was only competition within India. Today, for any product, it's a world competition. Whether you are making electronic products or whether we make, like the way we make it, we make engine parts, whether it is engine part. If we are expensive, people can import from China. And it is possible. Those days are over when you can tell people that, look, you can't do anything. I am not going to reduce my prices. That doesn't work. So you have to have efficiency. You have to have professionalism. And that is where jugaad style, adjustment style, and transferring funds from one company, that was a common thing which used to happen when I joined my father. That, look, this company has less money, let us transfer it from the other company which has got fund availability. That doesn't work today. Professionalism tells you that you have to manage within the commitments you have given to the market, commitments you have given to, if it is a listed company, to SEBI, commitment you have given to the investors, including sometimes there are venture capitalists also. And they go into your balance sheet. You have to have absolute transparency. Online transactions are there. Like now, when we work with big companies, we are working with all multinational companies, including JCB, John Deere. Now, when we supply to John Deere, the physical invoice is there because it is government requirement that with a transporter you have to have a physical invoice. But when it comes to our transaction with John Deere, it is all online, which is there with their own portal. Our own salespeople have to go online, enter all the data, and that is how we get the payment. They only just confirm physical delivery of the goods, but otherwise, when it comes to rate, when it comes to quantities, when it comes to on-time delivery, scheduling, all that, and the schedule given by customers like buyers, all that is cross-checked on their portal. The days are over when it used to be the physical. It's not like that. It is all now. If we are not, and we don't have computer-savvy people, then how can we work with companies, as I said, like JCB, like John Deere, Cummins, and these companies are working with similar activities across the globe. Like they don't have any specific thing done for India. They say, look, we can't do that. We are so big. We have to have all the systems which are same everywhere. Now we have to adapt according to those systems, and then corporate governance becomes the same. The earlier days of the promoter calling one of his friends and telling him, look, there is a problem with my balance sheet. You support me and we'll adjust. Those days are over now. That is not the way you can work in the world environment. And now Indian companies are also becoming multinational companies. So if you want to have growth, you have to adapt. A corporate governance is something which has to be there. I don't want to name companies which have not focused on this, have suffered, and everybody knows how they have suffered. So as I said, I don't want to name those companies. There was one company which was based from Poona, which was into sort of alternate energy sources. I'm talking about nearly 15 years back. And promoters pledged their shares without the knowledge of market. Like they had not given a letter to SEBI and they had not informed anybody. And next day onwards, when the market got the news, the company's shares simply lost because people lost faith in them. And then the company, like today, still that company is there, but it's not the way it was seen as a sort of a progressive company and the one who was future in that particular product category. The only reason why it happened was the promoters simply failed to inform SEBI that they had taken loans against their shares. The shares were pledged basically.
Okay.
Now, if you don't do that, if you are not transparent, look, they were not cheats. They were not like, they never took money and ran away and all that. That I don't want to name them, but that company is there. The promoters are also there. But what happened is when they did this, they lost the confidence of the investors. And that is where the company shares went down. So there's such kind of things. You have to have corporate governance, and you have to. Transparency is the way out today. Nobody can say that I'll do everything and the people will keep quiet and nobody will whisper about it. And my share value and my company and my net worth will not get affected. Again, I don't want to go into names, but people have seen what happens when you don't. You are not transparent. People don't go by only what is there in your balance sheet. People go by what analysts are doing. World Now, as I said earlier, worldwide, it is worldwide. It's not only in India. So you have analysts sitting there analyzing your own balance sheet, your own performance, your source of funds worldwide.
Okay, right. So we have been building the global thought leaders community for cross-pollination of knowledge and community of non-executive directors for having a better corporate governance in India. What are your thoughts about these initiatives?
Great initiative, excellent. Actually, now this is something where I have reached a situation where now my both kids have also joined the company. My son is 25 and my daughter is she just completed 30. She's looking into administrative side of it, and my son is looking into the R&D and all that. I'm teaching them. Now that is where they will gradually start taking over the day-to-day affairs of the company. Now I have spare time. Even though you are not looking at my full appearance, I'm quite fit. I don't take even one single medicine. So what I realized is I have the experience, I have the time. What should I do with it? And when I came across this initiative, I said, this is where I can pass on my knowledge, pass on my experience. Companies. And frankly, I'll tell you, I'm not looking at tremendous monetary benefits. That's not the basic aim behind myself trying to be independent director. Yes, there should be nothing free, but I'm seriously not looking at sort of desperate monetary benefit. I don't need them. I've made my money. So I'm comfortable right now. In fact, I would like to get associated with companies who want to really grow in an ethical way, because that is what I have done throughout my life. And what happens is, as I said, when you work for 30 years or so, the company problems which are being told to me today, earlier it used to take me a lot of time. Today it takes me a few minutes or a few hours to sort out the issues which are there in our company. That is where I have spare time. So as I said, I am fit, I have spare time. I would like to spend it. Now, when there was a phase when I said, what will I do? Now, when you came up with this idea and when I saw the advertisement, I said, this is nice. I can use my knowledge. And this is where, yes, it is being done in an honorable manner. That is very important for somebody like me. Like, I can pass on my knowledge, but now it is in a sort of a very decent and honorable way. And it will help because, as I said, somebody like me, and there are many who want to pass on the experience. So the new company, a fresh sort of a team, young team, nowadays there are quite a few startups. They can definitely get the help of somebody like me for the experience I have and grow. And that is what it is. India needs to grow. We have so much manpower. We have to have more and more companies. We need to employ more people. That is one of the things which give me a lot of satisfaction. A company where there is such a lot of unemployment, if we have bigger and bigger corporations, we'll be able to employ more people. And that will help the company, that will help the country. So that is one of the reasons why I want to be into this. And corporate governance by independent directors, definitely, because he has nothing to lose. Like somebody like me, I have nothing to lose. And as I said, I am not desperate about money. So I'll try to do what best I can do whenever I am associated with any company for that matter. So this initiative is the best thing for somebody like me. It is the best thing to happen because I'm not going to apply for a job. That look, give me a job of a director. That's not going to work. So your type of initiative is what is the best thing. So in fact, when I heard about it and when I went through the advertisement, I said, this is the right thing. So let me immediately get into this.
Okay.
So in fact, I congratulate you and your team for starting this initiative.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Means a lot coming from you. Great. This was an interesting conversation with you, and I'm confident that your insights will inspire the future leaders. Thank you, Mr. Sachin Gupte, for joining us today. Wish you the best for your future endeavors, and we look forward for your guidance also, sir. Thank you so much. Moreover, trust that this initiative by Directors Institute unquestionably expanded the participants' understanding and enriched their minds. Thank you, sir, and have a good day.